have our opening session today, which is the career office hours. So if you're joining me, please, if you've got some questions, just put them in the chat room. And welcome to the open office hours. Now we're going to be doing, how today's going to work is I've already gotten a series of questions that have come through. And so I will be answering those questions first, but then I'm going to open it up for anyone who else has questions. Just please put them in the chat room, or you can join me live if you are a brave soul and want to have your picture on the internet. Please join me and join me in doing that. I'm going to be specifically talking about a couple of things about how to leave a job with class. We're going to talk about some other items, and I do apologize. I'm going to turn this off, my cell phone. But we're going to talk about these things that are important to you. Any questions on the table, you can ask me anything that's relevant, and I hope I can answer it. So I'm going to go through my set questions first, and then we're going to jump into the group Q&A. So if you haven't submitted your question, now is the time. Please put your questions in, and I'll see you in a bit. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to share a little bit about me as well. So I have a deck that I want to share with you. I'm going to screen share that right now. Okay. So you should see on your screen here, this is the expect more, get more. Whoop, I'm gonna have to go through this. Here we go. This is expect more, get more with Beena Kavalam. And this is the career office hour that I mentioned and that some of you have been using. So for those of you who don't know who I am, Beena Kavalam, I wanted to give you a little brief overview. I'm a career coach with Personal Revolution Coaching. I own Personal Revolution Coaching, but I wasn't always a career coach. I started my career off after working as a biology student, graduating with a degree in biology from Rutgers University. I decided I didn't want to work in a lab the rest of my life, and I didn't want to go into medical school. And I literally stumbled into working in management consulting. And I was a management consultant for a company called Accenture, which does IT, which is an IT consultancy. After a few years there, I decided it was time for me to really go back to learning about business. And so that's one of the reasons why I went to NYU Stern, which is a business school in New York City. And there I switched careers, and I went from working as a management consultant, and I switched careers into working as a brand management person in brand management. I worked on a company called Bayer Consumer Care, and worked on the Bayer aspirin brand, and then moved on to Flintstones vitamins as well. After a few years there, moved out to Colorado to work on the launch of International Delight Iced Coffee, and one of my joys today is I get to see my product on shelf, still to this day, which I'm very excited about. So I started and founded Personal Revolution in 2011, and I have been working on developing that and developing and helping women and men around the world with their careers and really with their lives. I got my coaching certification from Coaches Training Institute in 2012. It's actually 2013. I got certified. And since then, I've realized that, not only is it important to know the strategy behind what you're doing, like career strategies here, the step-by-steps of what you need, but it's also important to understand the mindset. Mindset is so critically important. And if you don't have the right mindset, it's going to be very hard to accomplish the goals you want. So my coaching couples the two together. Now, your questions that you might have on today's office hours, please, it's open to everybody. So feel free to ask any questions that you have. If you want to be anonymous, you can just let me know, and I'll just, won't announce your name. But please make sure you get your questions answered. If you're not happy in your career, you can change that, and you can get happy and really get more success if you just take the effort. Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to some of the questions that have already been submitted. And so first, let me just check to see if there's anybody else on the call. Oh, we've got some 4 viewers. Shout out to my 4 viewers that are already joining me. Shout out to all of you. But we're going to start off with the first question. Is it odd to email people that were present at a conference I went to if I didn't formally meet them? Okay, so is it odd to email them? No, it's not if you are job searching, but there is a specific way to do it. And so for this, I'm actually going to turn back the clock and I'm actually going to try. Actually, can I stop? Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Okay, great. So now I wanted to talk to you about this. So what do I do when I'm at a conference and there's a great speaker and I loved listening to this person speak, but I couldn't go up afterwards to do my introduction, or there were so many other people and I had to attend another event, I couldn't meet this person. You still want to make that connection. The best way to do this is by sending us an email. If you have the email for the person, that's a great way of making a first connection. And you can do that by sending a thank you note, okay? No one's going to turn down a thank you, right? So you can always just send a thank you note of an email saying, I loved hearing you speak about topic X, and specifically, I liked your points about Y, Z, whatever, A, B, C. I loved your points about this, and this is why it was meaningful to me. And then that leads you into you, right? And then you talk a little bit more about your role. You talk more about what you bring to the table. So let's give an example. You were talking to somebody from the person that you're interested in who was speaking at the conference was from the company that you're interested in, okay? Let's just say it's Bayer Consumer Care. I'm a little biased, but we'll go with that. Say it's Bayer Consumer Care. And this was a person who you did not get to meet. Well, you'll talk about a little bit more about how some of the products that you like from Bayer. You'll talk about what you heard in the speech that really resonated with you. And then you'll reiterate your interest in Bayer Consumer Care. And then you'll talk about why you're a good fit for Bayer Consumer Care in the second paragraph. So first paragraph is all about them. Second paragraph is all about you and what you bring to the table. And then finally, the last paragraph is all about your call to action. What do you want them to do next? What's the ask? In some cases, it could be as simple as, let's connect on LinkedIn. Another ask could be, could I set up an informational with you? Another ask could be, is there someone else in your organization that I could talk to? Okay, these are all reasonable. Now, if I wouldn't ask for too much in your first email, you really want it to be more of a thank you. But if you're feeling comfortable, I would say don't ask too much. Maybe the LinkedIn is enough in your first email. And then when they respond back, if they respond back, most likely they will, then you can ask for this, you can, in the second email, ask to talk to someone else or to schedule an informational. Okay, so don't do it on the first one because you're overcoming something for the first time because you also did not meet them for the first time. Okay, great. So that is pretty much the session. Okay, for that question. If you have any additional questions, please put that into the chat room. So we're going to go back to the screen share and I'll answer the next question. If a person leaves their email in their LinkedIn, should I connect with her via LinkedIn and build that relationship or just email her directly? So I'm going to recommend that you connect via LinkedIn first, okay, in mail. So if you've met her, you're on LinkedIn, let's just look back at the question, right? You've looked through this person's, let's just go through, let me just do this really quick. Okay, there we go. So the question here is basically asking, so somebody on LinkedIn has put their email address in their LinkedIn profile. Is it okay, should I email them or should I connect with them through LinkedIn? Now, I'm going to say that you should connect with them through LinkedIn InMail, okay? That's important because then they get to see who you are, right? It's not just some nameless email that's sending me something. Two, it also helps you stand out because email inbox, right? They don't get as many emails in InMail in LinkedIn rather than the hundreds and hundreds of emails they're getting right now in their work email, right? You stand out a little bit more. The next thing is I would send them a kind note, letting them know how you know them, or if you don't know them, letting them know your interest and why, whether it's be their company, their role, whatever the link is. Give them very similarly, like you're talking a little bit about that. First paragraph is that connection point, and then the second paragraph is all about you, okay? And then from there, see if there's a response. The ask usually at the end of that email is usually something like, can we connect, or would you mind connecting with me on LinkedIn so we can stay connected on LinkedIn or be a part of your network? And then I would foster that over time by sending relevant articles, by sending things that this person may like. If you still are having that, remember I talked about this stealth tactic at Core Skills, is if you're in the mood, if you're trying to find somebody and connect with them and you don't have their email or you don't have their, you're not connected to them, join a group that they're in. Look at their profile and see what groups they're in, and then join that group, and then you can email them. It's a little stealth thing, very tricky thing that they have with LinkedIn that they still have. So please use that if you feel like you don't have the link. So right? Always use LinkedIn InMail to stand out. And then if you have their email, you can follow up afterwards with that. The other good thing about having their email address is that you can also add them. Okay, you don't have to go through the process of joining the same group. Okay. Let's go back to the screen share. Okay, so, whoops. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. We already answered that one. Okay, when do we need to arrive in NYC for CTLS? CTLS is the Career Transition Leadership Seminar, and this is the seminar that I'm going to be speaking at in May, next month. And so when do you need to arrive? I would arrive at the hotel and check in by 4 p.m. So you want to get there by Tuesday afternoon, late afternoon, May 26th. We haven't even booked the hotel yet. We don't know how far it's going to be from the other venue. Just try to get there early afternoon so you can settle in and that you can get your bearings and get dressed before the actual event starts at 6 o'clock. You should get there aim to be there around 5:45. Okay, so give yourself enough time to check in, to freshen up, and to get over to the location that we're going to have the event at, which most likely is going to be Caroline's. Okay, in Times Square area. Okay. Let's move to the next one. People at my firm don't know I'm leaving for business school. Should I be adding it to my resume? Well, you guys all know the answer to this one. No, I would not add your business school to the company's version until you're ready to share the news. Now, this is a big thing. You have to have a resume for work, right? And if you're trying to build connections with people at your job, your current job, you may not want to share that your business, you're going to business school. So just have two versions of your resume, one with business school, one without, and just use that version for when you're passing it around at the company. Okay. How much notice should I give at my employer before I leave? As much notice as you can, but at minimum, at least 2 weeks. Okay. At minimum. Now, if you want to leave on good terms, if you want to make a great impression, if you want to, really connect with the people, I would give more. Okay, if possible. If you really don't care, if you're ready to leave and you're ready to check out, at least a minimum of 2 weeks. Now, here's the thing. You're going to business school, so you don't know where you want to go afterwards. Maybe you want to come back to your company. If that's the case, you're going to want to make sure you leave on good terms. So if they know that you already got into business school in April, you got into business school in April, and then you don't tell them until, say, July that you're about to leave, 2 weeks before you're about to give them 3 weeks, give them 4 weeks, just so they have a little bit more time to fill your vacant spot. It can only help you, right? It's not like you're giving them, what's the harm that it's going to do, right? You're just giving them some options. And your manager is going to really respect that for you. I've been on both sides of this. And so I know what it's like to have somebody leave and give you 2 weeks notice, and you're scrambling to figure out. And then you, as the manager, have to cover that work until you can find a replacement. And it's always better to have some more time to do that. So that's just my 2 cents on that. What are some pre-MBA internship opportunities? Ahaha. I'm glad you asked. Okay, so for this one, I was getting a little cheeky there. But let me just come back to me here. Here we go. I was getting a little cheeky there because I know that's something, nobody really asked me that question, but I know it's on all your minds. So I thought I would put that out there for you as a question out there. I did, where did I put it? I did it. Here we go. So I have a little bit of I have a couple things that I want to go through with you and a couple of terms. I couldn't get this thing to format right. So I'm going to just go through them right now on the call with you. And then I'll try to format it correctly so I can send you a document afterwards. So first off, from these are for the partners for MLT. So if you're interested in some of these CPG partners, please listen up. I'm trying to get the same information for the consulting immersion programs. I can talk to some of them, but I don't know a lot of the detail. I'm still waiting from partnerships to get that information. So I promise I will get that information to you. And also from a tech perspective, I'm looking to get that information as well. I'm still waiting on that information. So I don't have it for those tech and for consulting just yet, but I do have it for CPG. So here we go. Clorox, which is one of our partners, is not offering a pre-MBA internship. So just know that, check. General Mills is also not offering a pre-MBA internship. But if you are interested and you want to talk to MC or any of the other people that you met at, say, Core Skills, reach out to me, or if you're very interested in General Mills, reach out to me and I can kind of put you in contact with some of those folks, okay? Johnson & Johnson, they do have a brand camp, okay? And you're going to apply using MLT's CTLS process, okay? There's going to be this super day at the last day of CTLS, okay? That's the Saturday. I believe it's the 30th of May, okay? There will be a super day with chock full of interviews. So if you're interested in the brand camp, whether it be J&J, P&G, any of the internships opportunities that are out there, it's all going to happen on that 30th, the day of the 30th, okay? So you want to be prepared for that day. So for Johnson & Johnson, they are having a brand camp, and it's going to be sometime, I believe, in late July. But you're going to want to make sure you apply for it using the MLT system through CTLS. Okay. Mars does not have a brand camp or any pre-MBA offering. Mondelez does not at this time have one either. I know that Lori, she's trying to get something to do something at the table. They will do a sale day so you get to experience what it's like to be at headquarters. So if you come through the process and you're doing the internship, or you apply for the internship during the through the MLT CTLS process, when you interview at CTLS and then you get past that interview, they will have some type of super day where you get to go on site, see the office, meet people, in their recruitment cycle, but they don't have a brand camp. Okay. Believe that Cell Day is going to be in August. So just know that for your reference. And they're going to be doing their interviews primarily at CTLS, but they might also have some at National Black. Okay. Oh, one more thing about the Mondelez process. I know that they're going to be doing first round at CTLS. Second round might be via phone, and then the third round is the Cell Day. Okay. Okay. Pepsi is not offering a pre-MBA internship, but at CTLS there will be this opportunity to have. It's like almost a boot camp. And Pepsi runs the boot camp. So if you're interested in marketing for Pepsi, great opportunity. Go to the boot camp. You'll learn a lot there. Okay, and you'll meet a lot of the people too. Second thing is with the if you're interested in finance, if you're interested in leadership and general management, Pepsi has a lot of those opportunities, and that's going to be at you. So you're going to want to go to that Pepsi Super Day boot camp. And that's going to be, they're offering it for 2 days. They're offering it on, I think it's Thursday and Friday. So make sure one of your options is Pepsi. Procter & Gamble Brand Camp. How many of you went to the Brand Camp announcement last night, the webinar? If you didn't, make sure you do, okay? If you're interested in Brand Camp with Procter & Gamble and you didn't attend last night's seminar, I think I have Isan has sent out the link to the webinar, so you have that. But also know that I'm going to also be doing my own after you've applied and you have your application into them by, I believe it's the April 26th. If you apply by April 26th, then you'll be able to interview at CTLS, okay, for Brand Camp, and you're going to want to do that, because it gets you a leg in early before they go to National Black, before they go to any of the other companies or any other programs that they're going to. You want to get in first, all right? The other benefit to applying by April 26th, I believe, I think that's the deadline, is you get to benefit from me. You get to benefit from somebody who will coach you on how to interview for it. Okay, so we're going to do I'm going to be doing a couple of some webinars with the folks who have gotten past round 1. So if you've been invited for an interview, make sure you meet with me, or you connect with me and send me a note and say, hey, Beena, please include me on the list for Brand Camp, because I got to second round. I should also be getting the notes from Isan as well. But just make sure that you get something from me, because I am going to be doing these webinars and I want to make sure that you get the benefit. They're going to be hot seats. They're going to be good. Okay. Every year they get better and better, but they typically start with me going over the success profile, which is something that I know Isan went through yesterday, the success drivers. And then we'll do hot seats with questions for each person who's applying. So every person will get a mock interview with me. Okay. And when is the Brand Camp? Brand Camp is July 27th through the 31st in Cincinnati. All right, at P&G. So lovely. I'm going to go now through to see if there's any questions that have come through. Oh, and that's a lovely picture of me there. Not good. Okay, so it does not look like there are any additional questions that have come in. So I am just going to end it here. Let me just go through here and see if there's anything last. No, I did not see anything. Okay, so there's no more questions. Nobody else has any questions. I'm going to leave it at that. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.